Hey, I'm Brandon with RevZilla, and today on Ride Tested, I am wearing the GTR Air 3 jacket from REV'IT. This thing flows a ton of air, so without further ado, let's hop on the bike, check it out. So the GTR Air 3 jacket, it is 96 degrees, and I'm sitting nice and comfortable. I'm gonna be honest with you, I can feel the airflow coming through the jacket, and it certainly makes a huge difference. I do have my base layers on as well, and that helps quite a bit because the base layers are gonna use your sweat and just help wick away that moisture, but also use it to help cool your body down. So I highly recommend wearing base layers if you're gonna be riding in some hot temperatures, and obviously drink a ton of water. That certainly helps a lot too, huh? Let's talk about the overall fit here. You know, I was looking at some of the reviews and reading some of the feedback just to see if there were any particular questions I might be able to answer for folks during this ride test. So there really weren't a lot of questions, but I did see a complaint about the overall fit of the jacket itself, which was kind of interesting, and they gave it a really bad rating because it didn't fit them right, which doesn't really make sense. Just because a jacket doesn't fit you means that it gets like 2 stars, whatever. It is definitely more of their Euro fit. It's nice and trim, but it doesn't feel overly relaxed, but it's not super Euro. It's just more of their kind of sporty, kind of sport touring type of fit. And the only real area where I felt like, whoa, that's pretty snug, is in the forearms and the biceps. So if you know you lift routinely, you know you're pumping iron at the gym, you've got bigger biceps and bigger forearms, that might give some people some problems in that particular area. But the chest and the waist, and for me the arms, I don't, you know, I'm not super yoked or anything like that. So, and just to give you some frame of reference, I'm about 170 pounds, 5'11", with a 38.5-inch chest, so the size medium is perfect for me. I think the small would just be a little bit too snug, but the medium is perfect, and I've still got a good bit of comfort room in here if I wanted to add in the back protection and things like that. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is REV'IT's got quite a few different air and textile jackets within their line, right? So I'd say a step below this would be the Eclipse. And I'll kind of want to compare some of the other options, right? And just talk about why you might choose one over the other. So yeah, stepping down, you can take a look at the Eclipse. That one's just very lightweight, very bare bones. I mean, the absolute like minimal jacket you could get that still has a little bit of protection built into it. And that one's about $189, $190, something like that. I only would wear that jacket if I'm zipping around on the scooter, but I still wanted some protection, right? And if I wanted the absolute bare bones. This feels, the GTR Air 3 feels much more substantial with the materials that are being utilized, and just, I think from a longevity standpoint, this just feels like it would last quite a bit longer, and it feels like it would protect me a little bit better if I'm coming off the bike. You know, I've got a combination of 600 denier and mesh as the obviously are all through the chest and the arms. You can see all that mesh, but you've still got the protection you want in those high impact zones. Now when you jump up to something like the Quantum 2, that's going to be more of a sport oriented option within their line that's still giving you lots of airflow. It's got that mesh, a lot of mesh incorporated into that jacket, so you're still getting plenty of airflow with that jacket. You've got hard TPU on the shoulders, for instance, so that one's just certainly going to be a leap up. If you want that sporty, more aggressive look and overall feel and design, well, that could be a great option for you to take a look at. They have that like sublimated graphic with it, which you see in some of their more race-oriented jackets. I like the price point on this. I think comparatively speaking, with other options in the market with other manufacturers and even within REV'IT's line, this strikes a perfect kind of middle ground for me, where it's like, I feel like if I fell right now, if I just slipped right out off of the bike, that I would still be protected, but it's 96 degrees right now and I'm still nice and comfortable too. So usually there's a bit of a trade-off. With the most protection, you're not always going to be the most comfortable, and with the most comfortable option that feels basically like a, you know, glorified t-shirt, well, you're probably not going to get the most protection, right? So this is that perfect middle ground for me. This is an excellent summer jacket. I like what REV'IT does. I'm certainly a big fan of their gear because it just feels like it has that refinement, and I like their stylistic cues most of the time. I think their style is pretty on point. So yeah, you know, airflow, protection, comfortable, stylish. I don't know how much more you can really want out of a jacket. And the armor is very, very comfortable, and it's certainly more comfortable than some of the older model textile jackets that I have. Hopefully that gives you a better idea of why you would choose something like the GTR Air 3 over the Eclipse or over the Quantum. But of course, if you've got more questions, maybe you're comparing it to some other options out there that you're looking at, you know, hit me up. Ask me those questions. I'll do my best to answer them. There's a really good chance that I've probably worn the gear at some point or another, because I test gear and ride in it constantly. So there's a really good chance that I've thrown it on and taken it out for at least a spin or two. So don't hesitate to reach out if you've got some additional questions for me. Thanks for hanging out and zipping around town with me for a little bit as we talk about the GTR Air 3 textile jacket. It's always fun. Hopefully get out there on 2 wheels. But as always, keep it pinned. Woo! Love this curve. Here we go.